Hip, hip, hooray. It's hip mobility day. Okay, now that I've embarrassed myself, we are gonna jump into a hip mobility practice. So we'll do a lot of drills, not so much of a flow, but more focused on opening those glorious hips of ours. So when you're ready, we're starting in Malasana, yogi squat. Let's start at the back of our mat. So start to find your Malasana yogi squat, meaning that the heels are about to the edges of the mat, knees and toes turning out. Hands come to heart center, finding a tall spine, head lifting over the heart. And let's take a nice deep breath in. And a sigh out. Twice more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if you are a female, I'm going to give you a little more awareness of the pelvic floor. So as we inhale, I want you to imagine the pelvic floor is lengthening, almost like it's opening like a flower. When we exhale, the flower returns back to its normal state. So I invite you in your next few breaths to practice engaging the pelvic floor. On the inhale, we lengthen. So let's take a breath in. Exhale. Inhale, flower opening. Exhale, pulling in. 3 more. Beautiful. Take hands to the mat, lift the hips, grab opposite elbows, sway it out. Take hands to the mat, come back to your Malasana. Now we're going to walk to the front of our mat in our Malasana. So we're going to take a step up, keeping the feet walking along the sides of the mat. Once we get to the top, take a bow, hands to the mat, tuck chin to chest. Inhale back up, and we're moving backwards. Doesn't matter how you look. Hopefully cooler than I do. And take a bow back to the mat. Once more, looking forward, walk it up. And then sway it out, side to side movements, lifting one heel and then the other. Good. Take hands to the mat, step both feet back to plank, and pedal out the feet. Awesome. Drop onto the knees as wide as the mat, toes to touch, child's pose. Let's start to walk the hands over to the left, folding over the left leg. Maybe right hand wants to be placed on top of the left for a deeper stretch. Level out the shoulders. Lower the head. Breathing into the right rib cage, feeling the ribs extending and expanding outward from the sides. And let's walk it over to the right. Come back through center. Come on to all fours. Turn the knees in and the feet out. So a lot of times in our yoga practice, we're working on opening the hips. Today we're going to also include the closing of the hips, right? So a different direction that we're maybe naturally used to. So I just invite you to rock forward and back with the knees close together and the heels behind you. Maybe you can come all the way back to a seat like a child's pose. If not, don't judge your body. Just let yourself be met where you are today. And come on back up. Take the feet behind you. Extend the right leg back. Rock it out, stretching through the calf. Plant the right hand. Left arm reaches forward. Right foot floats up. Flexing, dorsiflexing toes to shin. And pause here. Take 3 breaths. There's 1. 2. 3. Take that foot and cross it over to the left end of the mat, and then reach the left arm towards the heel. Make sure the right shoulder is still stacking over the wrist. Everything feels okay in this deep side stretch. And back through center. Bring the right knee to mat. Extend the left leg out long. Rock it out. Maybe you want to add some wrist stretches, taking the wrist creases forward as you rock on this side. Good. Let's plant the left hand back to normal. Float that left leg up, right arm extends forward. 3 breaths, pressing away from the earth, engaging the core. 3. 2. 1. Extend that leg over to the right side and then reach the right arm open and back towards the heel. 3 breaths. And back through center. Beautiful. Let's take a downward facing dog just to wring that out. Start to pedal the feet. Find stillness. And let's bring that right knee to nose, step the foot through, and lower the back knee. Let's come on up to our low lunge, Anjaneyasana. We're going to take hands on the hips. I want you to check that the knee is stacking over the ankle, and we're not pushing the hips forward. We're starting in this kind of neutral position with the spine nice and long. Take a breath in here. Exhale, push the hips forward. Inhale, come back. We're going to do 3 forward. You might inch the toes forward to find kind of that position that feels nice in the knee. Last one. Come back up. Now walk the right foot out to a 45-degree angle. Turn the hips towards the knee and press the hips forward. 1, 2, 3. Come back up. Open up a little bit more and turn the hips towards the knee and start to push the hips forward. 2, 3. Coming back to the 45 degrees. 1, 2, 3. Back through center. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Half splits. Notice I brought a pillow here. If you feel like your knee needs a little extra support, feel free to put a towel or a pillow or something to support you underneath that grounded knee. And back to Anjaneyasana. Reach the arms up. Cactus the arms as you bring the hips forward. and come back up. Hands to the mat. Lift it to plank. Let's flow it out, chaturanga. Baby cobra. Exhale back to the knees. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Look forward, take that left knee to nose and step it through. Lower the back knee, Anjaneyasana, hands at hips. Find a nice stable position. Make sure the hips are level with one another. And let's take 3 forward pushes of the hips. 2, 3. Open up to the side. 45 degrees. 1, 2, 3. And all the way out. 1, 2. See if you feel more stable on one side than the other. 3. Back to 45 degrees. 2, 3. And back to the front. 1, 2, 3. Anjaneyasana. To half splits, hands to the mat. Bring the hips back. Chest towards the big toe. Ground through that foot. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, cactus arms, hips forward, chest lifted. And hands to the mat, step it to plank. Chaturanga to upward facing dog. Come onto the tops of the feet, hips and knees lifted, heart shining through. And exhale on the knees to a child's pose. Maybe release hands to the heels. 5 breaths. Come on back up. We're going to take hands to the mat. Come onto the toes and lift the knees. And then bring the knees out wide, coming into this toe stand, letting the hips be open and sitting on the heels. We're going to play with our balance for a moment. Maybe hands grounding or at heart, maybe even lifting overhead. Challenge yourself today in a new way. Inhale to lengthen the pelvic floor. Exhale to return it back to normal. One more breath here. Hands to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands at heart. Take the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Reach the left arm up and over. Back through center on the inhale and exhale, other side. Let's do this 3 times on each side. And back up. Awesome work. A mountain pose. Sigh it out, let it go. All right, we're gonna take the right knee up towards the chest and start to take some big circles with that knee. You might use the hand to support you. You might not need it. You can do this also with hands on the hips. Big opening. Take it the opposite way, bring it in. Can you cross it over to midline and then back? A little more challenging. One more. Step it down. Take a breath into Tadasana. Sigh it out. Relax the shoulders. Left knee comes up. Start to take circles, opening the hip. And then circles, bringing it forward. Whew. Wise balance feels so much harder when we do something new in our bodies. Takes time to train the muscle memory. One more. Let it go. Starting to feel it? Can we shake it out? Can we move the hips? Can we twist and shout? Twist and shout, twist and shout. Come on, baby, come on, baby. Do, 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 do. All right, take the right foot forward. We're gonna take a big step onto the long side of our mat. Hands to hips. Little side lunge, left knee and toes turn out. Come to the side. Right knees and toes turn out, come to the side. So look at the feet each time we come over, they turn open. That's a nice cue to know in your fitness classes. The knee and the toe are always pointing in the same direction. So it's good just to look down and bring awareness. One more on each side. And come back up. Heel toe the feet together. Turn to the front of your mat. Okay, let's come back to our Malasana Yogi squat, knees and toes out, lower the seat. This time, take the hands forward, and we're gonna take little dips, bringing right knee down to tap, left knee down to tap. Right, left, right, left. If your hips are screaming, find your edge and stop there. If you have a few more in you, let's take 3 more. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Come down to a seat. Feet together, knees splaying out. Butterfly, flutter the knees. And we'll make it into our cool down. Nice work today, everyone. Bring knees together. Hands forward, slowly lower down onto the back. Once you arrive, we're gonna take a figure 4 with the right ankle crossing over the left thigh. You might stay here and press the right knee away from you, or you might interweave the hands in front of the shin, behind the hamstring, anything that feels good, and then bring the legs closer to the body. Maybe a little dynamic, subtle movements, bending through the elbows to bring the knees closer and then straightening them away will feel nice. Each inhale, expansive. And then let's switch. Take the opposite ankle across the thigh and match what you did on the other side. Beautiful work. Let's take our happy baby, grabbing edges of the feet or the big toes and rocking it out, maybe stretching one leg long and then the other. And then plant the feet as wide as the mat. Take the knees knocked in. Take hands on top of the thighs, and from the hip creases, just kind of push the legs away from you, feeling a little stretch maybe through the sacrum, the sciatica. And then anything else that your body needs, maybe some big circles with the knees, maybe just letting the legs kind of be wild as you circle out ankles and knees and hips. No rules, just find what your body needs to finish up our class. And once you're ready, we'll just land on our backs with the legs extended out. Shake the legs a few times until the feet splay open, taking up space with the body, thanking our hips for all the work they did today, for all the work they do for us to keep us mobile and flexible, for bearing children, for holding emotions, for developing our root chakra, the hips. They're busy people. Give them some compassion. Slow down the breath. Shavasana. Start to wiggle through the fingers and the toes. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Take the left knee into chest. Let it graze side to side. Extend that leg out long and switch sides, right knee. And then finally, both knees to chest. We're going to cross up the ankles and rock up and back a few times. Eventually coming all the way up to a seat. We'll bring hands at heart center with much gratitude for our bodies, for this practice, for the way that we move intentionally through the rest of our day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.